Pogram, the Minister representing the Minister for Health and Aged Care. Why has the Minister for Health again failed to meet his own deadline of establishing a National Institute of Clinical Studies before September 2000? Given that the Australian public has been waiting for some decisive action on the alarmingly high rate of adverse incidents in Australia's hospitals since the first comprehensive report on this subject was released in 1995, why has it taken so many years to act?
Senator Herron.
Madam President, Madam President, that original report, as you'll recall, is from the Labor Party instituted report, and there was considerable dispute about the validity of the conclusions that were drawn from that report. The evidence that it was based on was subject to statistical analysis, and the reality is that a lot of the subject matters that were brought forward were inevitable consequences of people coming into hospital with severe illnesses that required a lot of investigation, a lot of analysis, and at the end of the day, we gave a commitment when we came into government that we would analyse that report and institute those programs that would be beneficial, that would have beneficial outcomes. In other words, we were concerned that the outcomes of the procedures that were put in place, because as anybody working in a hospital will tell you, a nurse, a doctor, or any of the ancillary people, one of the great burdens that's existed since the Labor Party was in power in 13 years was the bookwork that they have to complete. And the reality is, unless the bookwork that distracts from the clinical care of patients, Senator, that's one of the problems. Insofar that if you're not going to produce a beneficial outcome as a result of instituting changes, then why institute them? Just for the purposes of documentation, or just for the purposes of responding to a report? So that time has been taken. The answer to the question is that time is being taken so that we will know that there will be a beneficial outcome of the Institute as a result of instituting the recommendations. I'll get back to the Senator with a reply from the Minister in greater detail, which will perhaps be of benefit to him.
Senator Buckland.
Yes, supplementary question, Madam President. Is the Minister aware of the recent serious incidents involving children at the Joondalup Hospital in Western Australia, one involving the death of a child and the other a child who was sent to the morgue before being found to be still alive? Why isn't the government showing more urgency on this crucial issue by ensuring that prompt action is taken nationally to reduce the frequency of adverse events in hospitals?
Senator Herron.
President, the Senator should know that the responsibility of the hospitals is a state government responsibility. They are responsible. There are regulatory bodies at state level. At state level, each state has its own regulations, its own responsibility, particularly for public hospitals. Yes, I am aware. I did see that press report. There are reports of that nature that occur from time to time. They warrant investigation, first of all, by the hospital. Every public hospital has its own committee that looks into adverse incidents within that hospital. I believe that the mechanisms that are in place are an adequate safeguard for the public because of the very high standing of our public hospitals in Australia, which are some of the best in the world. But ultimately, the regulatory function is a responsibility of the state government concerned.
Senator Kuhn.
There's nothing